With the end of the Great Depression, people wanted to earn as much money as possible. And with this movement, people started to invest into the stock market, but there was a complication. How do you invest intelligently and wisely? Benjamin Graham answered this question when he wrote the best selling novel, The Intelligent Investor, and made the movement where the middle class began to invest into the stock market. Without the Great Depression, the common layman would not have been able to achieve financial security because they believed the economy was going to continue to be steady. After the matter, however, people began trying to increase their wealth, so in case of a financial crisis, they had something to fall back on. The thing is, no one was there to guide them, and after the publication of Graham's novel, it was possible that the common man was able to make a considerable amount of money trading securities and then provide for their families and have something to fall back on in case of a financial crisis. Ben presented a relatively simple strategy called value investing, where you look for stocks that trade for less than their intrinsic values and sell them later on for higher than the market price. The intelligent investor connects to the Great Depression in the sense that the common man was able to increase his wealth considerably because of the economic boom following the end of the Great Depression. The intelligent investor made it so that the common layman could invest into the stock market while still being able to make a decent amount of profit through analyzing securities and trading them. He described his method of investing as value investing. This is essentially where you buy securities for less than their intrinsic values and sell them later on for higher than what you bought them for. Through the use of Graham's education at Columbia University, where he received his MBA, he then proceeded to move south of his university to New York City and Wall Street and created his own hedge fund. With the start of the Great Depression, he began wanting to teach the common person in the United States of the stock market. This is a quote from Joseph Taglieri. No doubt the risky investment practices that contributed to the Great Depression provided a fertile field of reference for a young Benjamin Graham, as he would go on to develop financial strategies that provided widely influential and firmly withstood the test of time. Novel with David Dodd and was called Security Analysis, and after the end of the war and the Great Depression, he wrote the critically acclaimed novel The Intelligent Investor. With the publication of this novel, the economy began booming even more. This is because when people invest into companies, more jobs are created in those private sectors. The creation of jobs is in direct proportion of the amount of investments that occur into those companies. This is a quote from Stephen Denning. New businesses account for nearly all net new job creation and account for nearly 20% of gross job creation, whereas small businesses do not have a significant impact on job growth when age is accounted for. This connects to social movements occurring at this time because between 1940 and 1970, people began wanting more and more jobs as they created more and more unions. With the help of David Dodd, Benjamin Graham became a best-selling author, which contributed to his success. This piece of literature transformed politics because it made the government push to further economic vitality because it was the people's will. This was signaled to them by the increase of trading as a direct result of people reading this novel. This is a quote from Go Banking Rates. As everyone knows, American politics is dominated by two political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. Whichever is in power will set the policies that will more than likely have an impact on the stock market. That's because whichever party is in charge will manage the economy and set policy. That policy will have a direct impact on both the economy and the stock market. Deregulation, a big cause of current economic collapse, is favored by one party or the other. The current economic collapse has caused the stock market to go into a free fall, with stocks losing trillions of dollars in value. Other political decisions that affect the stock market include interest rate policy as set by the Treasury Department, record-shattering budget deficits, also a result of political policy, which will have an impact on the stock market in a negative way, signaling to the world markets that the government does not have any books on in any sort of order. Seeing this, you realize that politics influence the stock market tremendously as well as the opposite. The stock market influences politics significantly. In conclusion, the intelligent investor connects to the Great Depression in the sense that the common man was able to increase his wealth considerably because of the economic boom following the end of the Great Depression in World War II. This occurred because industry was booming after the war, which resulted in the increase of share prices. Through the publication of The Intelligent Investor, the common man began to invest into the stock market significantly, thus creating more jobs. Socially, unions began wanting more money for their work, which was a result of the economic boom in America in the 1940s to 1970s. Politically, the common man investing resulted in the government working to increase jobs as well as economic vitality, and was a direct result of more people investing into the private sector. The intelligent investor transformed the world we live in because it resulted in economic dynamism as well as a social and political reform.